Welcome to the Premier League preview show, courtesy of the Sorare Thursday Club. Throwing in a little old school intro then. I am Ricky, aka the Sorare Mamba, joined as ever by my glamorous co-host and play sharper Everton expert, Johnny, aka Dornado. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm good. Fresh off an 11 out of 11 on my play sharper Everton predictions last week. Get in there. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm very good.
Yeah, so we are going for just a short little video today about the Premier League preview, as someone's got a busy weekend ahead of them, so doesn't have time to do a full podcast tonight. But we'll get to that when we get to the game. Happy MLS card release day. Excited? Like the look of them? Want to buy any?
I mean, yes, very excited. Would love to buy some, but I mean, the prices are insane. A lot of hype about MLS. A lot of people love MLS. I feel like it's kind of a lot of Sorare players' guilty pleasure a little bit, the MLS. Well, it certainly isn't the people we follow on Twitter a little bit, isn't it? But yeah, the cards look cool. The messy one on the introduction video on Sorare that Sorare tweeted was looking sexy. But yeah, not as sexy as obviously Jackson Ewell. But
Jackson Ewell, we're going to have to let the 1 of 100 go this time, I'm afraid. But, just wanted to give him his moment to shine. I think the Dallas kit looks very nice, especially in rare and in rookie. But yeah,
nice,
exciting. But prices are predictably gone a bit wild, haven't they? I guess first new season cards out after the changes were announced, a little bit wild. So yeah, gonna have to avoid me, sadly. Watch these San Jose cards disappear into the future.
I think waiting a week or two is probably the wisest thing. I was more excited that Beto finally came onto the platform with his Everton shirt, and I was just like, I want to get the 1 of 1,000, but his price is getting quite high, so you can get his card for like £1.50. And I spent 18 quid on it. So, I'm an idiot. But I know you've been trying to get an Alex Scott.
Alex Scott, he's on the market. Bit pricey as well, though, isn't he? I'm not too bothered about getting this one. I'll get one down the line somewhere. Bigger fish to fry at the moment.
City, right? So fuck him. That's what I say.
Yeah, summer's on the horizon. The new modes are on their way. I need to reshuffle the gallery, which is more important than an Alex Scott or a nice new collection of MLS cards. Yeah. But we're not here for that today. We are going to do a Premier League preview. We usually do a Premier League preview in the main show anyway, but we are doing a little competition head-to-head to see who can win the most game weeks in a Premier League predictor. Loser has to do a giveaway. So you, I think, have got the scores from last week, haven't you? So if you can just run through who won game one. We started last week, didn't we, officially?
Yeah, started last week officially. We had a slightly shorter game week of 8 games rather than 10 due to the League Cup final, which unfortunately went the way of the red shite. But yeah, so we had 8 correct results between us. So 16 predictions, 8 correct results. So 50%, not too bad. So I got the correct result for Villa Forest. I predicted 2-1 and it was 4-2. Very almost got the points for the Brighton Everton win, but unfortunately Brighton scored late on, so neither of us got points there. You, for some reason, decided to predict that Burnley would beat Palace, despite the fact that Burnley don't win football matches. Palace won 3-0, so I got 2 points for that. United Fulham, neither of us predicted a Fulham away win. I predicted Fulham would get a point, so I wasn't too far away. But heartbreak for all United fans across the land, including yourself, with a 2-1 home loss. Neither of us got points there. Bournemouth City, we both predicted a City away win, but a lot heavier than 1-0. So you both got 2 points there. Arsenal, Newcastle. I predicted 4-2 and it was 4-1. So I almost pulled it out of the bag there, but got 2 points. You predicted a Desmond 2-2. Wolves Sheffield United was surprisingly only a 1-0 home win, and Sheffield United actually played quite well. So sorry to all the Sheffield United fans I predicted a 5-0 loss to, but both of us got 2 points there. And you got 2 points for West Ham, Brentford, and I predicted a Brentford away win. So that leads to an overall win for Team Tornado, 10-6. So I have taken week 1, 1-0.
I should point out we're doing 2 points for getting the
Yes.
result right and 5 points for a correct score. So week
Sorry.
1 to tornado. So we jump into this week's predictions, see what we think from a Sorare point of view. Game 1 on Saturday. They're all 3 o'clock. No early game for us to worry about. We have Brentford versus Chelsea. Let's have a little look what Play Sharper thinks. Neil Maupay, ex-Everton legend up there. And we have Chelsea team, lots of 75% in the front three. Fresh off of being the £1 billion bottle jobs, the blue bottle jobs in the cup final. Yeah, so what we thinking Brentford versus Chelsea?
I mean, first of all, how Chelsea didn't score in that game against Liverpool, I got no idea. I mean, how it was 0-0 until the 119th minute just was mad. I don't know if you watched the full game, but it was a crazy game. Brentford I predicted to do pretty well against West Ham, and I watched the West Ham Brentford game, and they were really, really bad, Brentford. Tony looked disinterested. Maupay was hooked off after an hour. I think Ben Mee went off injured. So, yeah, they were struggling a little bit. Chelsea won in midweek, didn't they, in the FA Cup? 3-2, I think it was. So, they've bounced back a little bit from the cup final loss already. Yeah, I mean, I think Chelsea will win, to be honest with you. Brentford have, as of this week, dropped down a couple of places due to the 4-point return for Everton. So they are suddenly looking a little bit in trouble. Tony looking like he's going to leave at the end of the season. Is his mind going to be on the games for the remainder of the season? I'm not sure. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win.
2-1 Chelsea win. Okay. Yeah, it's 11th v 16th. So with 16th being at home. The Sorare data lineups here, there's a lot of A's throughout this Chelsea team. Palmer, Sterling, Gallagher, Double A, Jackson, which, seems a little overconfident to me. Enzo and Caicedo probably in there. Yeah, I don't know. I think there might be goals on either side. Multiple Double A striking option. Yeah. Lots of attacking A's around is what I take from this game. Seems like it could be an attacking stack way to go. I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. You do love a Desmond, don't you?
I always go over 2.5 goals, weirdly. Yeah. I don't know. I fancy Tony to get one. I fancy Chelsea to score. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a score draw, and I'm going to pick 2-2.
I don't think either team like clean sheets, don't they? So it's written in the stars it'll be 0-0.
And Chelsea obviously had the cup final that went to extra time. Then they had a midweek FA Cup game. So I'm sort of factoring some fatigue into this as well. And maybe from a Sorare point of view, maybe, 3 or 4 subs at an earlier stage and maybe you'd like to normally think. So, yeah, I would probably go for, tough for me to pick too many Chelsea players in my best teams, but I think there could be a couple of decisives there. Second game up is your boys, Everton versus West Ham, which I think you'll be at.
Yeah, so since our show last week, a rather miraculous sort of turn of events has happened for me. As you know, and as a lot of people watching will probably know, there's been a lot of collection events for top collectors of certain teams around the world. There's been 4 or 5. Each of them seems to get a full team signed jersey. Never seems to have Everton. And every single time one was announced, I was just like, immediately open it. Is Everton there? Oh, fucking Everton's not there. Was sort of beginning to lose hope. And then on Saturday or Sunday, I had a message from the Momo Sorare guy, who's the guy who runs their sort of events team or whatever, and they said they've got 2 Directors Lounge VIP tickets for Everton versus West Ham to give to me for this Saturday. Thank God we had nothing in the diary, because if I'd had to argue to try and get to that game and decline the tickets, it would have been horrific. But yeah, so it's been pretty mad. We're going to get a 6-course meal. We have to wear a suit and tie. We're going to have like special directors seats, like above the managers where they stand, the dugouts. That's what I'm trying to say. It's going to be like an interview with the man of the match. It's going to be, for an Everton fan, it is like incredible. For any fan of any club to get that is awesome. So, and what made it even better is they said they've got 2 more tickets. So I've got 4 now. So I'm taking my entire Everton side of my family.
Yeah, that's great. Got 4 tickets. Didn't even get the call up, you know?
Oh, mate. I mean, come on. If I didn't take my brother and his kid and my nephew, I think that'd be it. I wouldn't be invited to any more family dues. That's game over.
Wow.
But yeah, so I'm very, very excited for this weekend. So I'll be there. Everton West Ham. I'm going to be able to take that lovely photo of my 7 Everton stacks on my phone right in front of the pitch. We'll probably get beat, but fuck it. So yeah, very excited. Prediction-wise, there's been some team news today in terms of Everton's press conference was earlier this morning. Idrissa Gueye went off injured in the last game. He's got a late fitness test to see if he can get onto the starting team again. Anana came on and changed the game last week, the week before, sorry. But he has picked up an injury as well, unfortunately. So he's also facing a late fitness test. I think one of them will play. I think it's more likely to be Anana. But yeah, we've got a few injuries all of a sudden again. But I still think we'll win. We've got a good record against West Ham. West Ham have obviously just done really well last night. Was it last night? No, when was it? A few nights ago. They won. Jared Bowen scored a hat-trick. So they're looking pretty good. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Everton win for me.
Yeah, Everton are actually the favourites for a change. Decent at home. Well, hard to beat at home, let's say. Yeah, I obviously want to go against Everton for the lols. Own a lot of Everton players, but apart from Branthwaite and Tarkowski being quite underwhelming as for a lot of them, Calvert-Lewin literally can't score to save his absolute life. West Ham starting to look like they're maybe finding a little bit of form. Davy Moyes maybe earning himself another contract. I heard in the news as well this week.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so maybe Paqueta's back. Bowen ride the hot hand as well. I would probably like an Everton. I like the Everton defensive stacks. If I was rolling out like the Pickford, Branthwaite, Tarkowski triple up, I'd be all right with that. Maybe with the Garner, with the uncertainty over the other position. You don't want anything to do with Calvert-Lewin, so maybe you can fill the forward position from another team. Stick a McNeil in there, but he's been a bit hit and miss as well. But yeah, as usual, I like the Everton defensive play in this game. I could see both teams scoring again. I really want to say West Ham to win, but I'm going to go for a 1-0.
It's worth noting as well that West Ham are a completely different team when they've got Paqueta playing. He's an extremely good player. He looked different gravy the other day when they won. I saw some stat flash at the bottom of Sky Sports saying like games with Paqueta, they win like 60, 70% of the time. Games without him, they literally don't win any games. So he makes a massive difference to them. Bowen's obviously hot hand, like you say. So it'll be a tough game, but I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. Next one. We've got Fulham and Brighton and Hove Albion. So Fulham in 12th, Brighton are in 7th. What do you think about this one?
Well, Brighton, had to score a last-minute goal against us to rescue a point, but actually played pretty well in the game. I think overall a draw was probably a fair result, but they're sort of ravaged a little bit by injuries at the moment, aren't they, Brighton? Like most teams seem to be honest with you. But they're missing, what's his name? João Pedro. Matoma's now been declared out for the rest of the season, I'm pretty sure. Who else is out? Enciso, is it? Well, he's on his way back. But they're missing a few key players, Brighton. Fulham have been such a weird team, a little bit like sort of Wolves or something this year. They've always been like really good or really bad. And Fulham have just come off, obviously, a fantastic win at United. First win there for years, I think it was. So they'll be riding high. But Brighton, I feel like are the much better team here. So it's a tough one to call. Pascal Gross is on absolute fire at the moment, isn't he? He's one of the most informed midfielders on the game right now.
Yeah, insane.
So do you know what? I might do a Ricky T and go for a Desmond Tutu.
NC South, 55% chance to be back, according to
okay, fine.
The Play Sharper experts. Yeah, Fulham, we've got Man United Slayer, ex-Everton legend, Iwobi in there. I bought a bro here, and he's not been able to get in the squad. Muniz has decided to hit absolute elite form since bro has signed.
Yeah,
Harry Wilson in at 90% as well. I've had his card for a while and not had much chance to use it. Castagno as well.
They're missing Willian, aren't they? I think he's been declared out for a few weeks. Although he missed the United game, but he's quite a key player for them, isn't he? So
yeah, Welbs up front. I kind of want to go against Fulham just because they fucked us over last week. I love Pascal Gross. Have his Sorare, and he's just been like insane this season. Absolute quality. Yeah, a bit of uncertainty about some of the other positions makes it kind of hard for me to like want to run any form of like Brighton stacking this week. You know, will Webster play? Will Moda play? Is CCL going to play? Fatty? There's a bit of uncertainty that I don't like over there. And you've always got the goalie situation, which is fucking 50-50 each week. You've never got any idea who's going to play. While individually I like a lot of their players, I don't really like it from like this week from an away from home. Plenty of uncertainty from like playing any form of Brighton stack, but I will stick Gross in a very good team. I am going to go for a Brighton win, and I'm going to go 1-0.
Nice. Okay. It's worth noting as well. I noticed how much Van Heck is going for at the moment. He's a decent player. I just didn't realise how well he'd been scoring. He's flying, isn't he? I think he's very strong AA defender. But yeah.
I haven't seen much of him. In card terms.
Yeah, I just saw his price. He was going for freaking megabucks, but
all right, Newcastle Wolves.
I'll let you take the lead here, mate. Go on. I'm always waffling on.
Okay, no Cunha. Love Cunha. From his time at Hertha Berlin, I became a bit of a cult fan. Yeah. And then he moved to Atletico, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't get much of a look in there, and then obviously took a little while to warm up at Wolves. So it's a shame that he's not playing. Pedro Neto, though, looks like an absolute elite level baller off the scale. I think he's going to be a really, really top level player. Feels like he's been at Wolves forever as well. But I like that play. Wolves looking a bit tasty on attack in front, but Newcastle have like rediscovered some form after they had that blip when they had all the injuries for a while. When I'm looking at Newcastle, though, like play sharper, so 70, 70, 70, 70, 50, 50, 70. There's a lot of uncertainty, more uncertainty over the team, where the Wolves team looks a bit more nailed on. I think Newcastle have probably got too much when they're at St. James's Park. I like the defensive plays from this week. I think Ant Gordon might have a good game as well. I would be going for do I want to say 2-0 or 2-1? I'm going to go for a 3-1 Newcastle win. I think that'd be too strong at home. Actually, they played midweek, Newcastle, didn't they? And Wolves play midweek?
Wolves did as well, because they lost Hwang Hee-chan, didn't they? Got injured midweek.
Okay, yeah, I remember Gary O'Neill moaning on the TalkSport about fixture congestion, actually.
Yeah.
3-1 Newcastle.
3-1 Newcastle. Okay, I like it. Solid. Yeah, like you said, they both had midweek games. Newcastle struggled over. Who did they beat? Blackburn, didn't they? They beat them on penalties, but that's 120 minutes plus penalties they played midweek. Already with a sort of depleted squad. Pardon me. But yeah, like you say, very strong team at home, Newcastle. Playing Newcastle St. James's Park is always tough for any away team. obviously straight off the back of getting thumped pretty heavily from Arsenal. But, you know, Arsenal are a very good team at the moment, so there's no shame in that. Wolves, like I've said, are a very good team. I think they've done well the majority of this season. They looked really bad in the second half against Sheffield United. Sheffield United easily could have got a point out of the game, I thought. Looked a bit nervous. But I think Wolves actually might be above Newcastle on the league table right now, aren't they?
Wolves are 9th, Newcastle 10th. Yeah, so
you know, they're
the same 1 point in it.
They're obviously two close teams, but I do think Newcastle will be too strong for him. Pedro Neto factor has got to be worth a goal for Wolves at least, though. But I think 3-1's a good shout, to be honest. But I'll go for 2-1.
2-1. That's the other thing I was thinking of. But all right. So next up, Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. I'd love to say Liverpool to lose. You know, I'd love to see it happen. They obviously had the cup final played midweek. A lot of academy players out. You know. Klopp banging the drum, then fighting against injuries and Forest.
Woe is them. Liverpool are actually the only clubs that ever have injuries. Do you know?
Yeah, no, it's not like United, Newcastle, Chelsea have been like completely hamstrung by injuries all season. But yeah, make a big deal out of it when it's Liverpool. But Forest also, you know, got reeled in by Man United on a piece of string for 90 minutes and then pow, done in the 90th. By an excellent Casemiro flick at the near post.
I saw a lot of people kicking off on Twitter, especially I saw Gibbs White, didn't they? Because of the goal where was it Varane was offside and blocked the defender. It was exactly the same as the goal Liverpool scored in the.
No, Varane didn't block anyone that was going for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. A lot of people were kicking off about it, but
Rashford should have had a stonewall penalty as well, and someone tried to throttle Bruno Fernandes as well, but that goes over. But anyway, all that brings to is they both had midweek, and I think the Liverpool team will be too strong. You know, even with, I mean, it doesn't look that weak on paper here. I think they'll have enough. I think Forest have looked better in second half of the season. I think Elanga's looked good. Hudson-Odoi's come on and been a decent player, especially for my Ultimate Champions team. And got a bit of a focal point at the front as well. Matt Sells looks to be slightly better than all the other dodgy goalies they've had so far this season. So, unfortunately, even when I add all of that up, I'm going to go for a Liverpool win, and I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool. It hurts to say it.
See, I hate these type of Liverpool games because I want Liverpool to win this game, and I don't like that because I won't be cheering for them, but it's kind of win-win, I guess. If Liverpool lose, I'm happy because they've lost, and if they win, it's good because Forest are right down there with Everton, especially now as we've got these points back. So, yeah, Forest have been sort of, I think they probably knew it was happening, but they've kind of been dragged back into the relegation scrap. And they're now, I think, 3 points above Luton. Luton have got a game in hand. And also, obviously, Forest have got a second charge. Sorry, their first. We've got our second charge coming up as well. So they could be getting a points deduction potentially. So, yeah, they're dealing with a lot of sort of external pressures now, like we have been for the last sort of couple of months. I still do think Forest have enough attacking players to sort of get through this season, but this weekend will be a tough game for them. I think Liverpool are, you know, fighting to win the Premier League. They annoyingly are going to probably be like, "We got to do this for Klopp. It's his last season." Blah 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 blah. So yeah, they're trying to win the league, aren't they? Big time. So I can see Liverpool quite a hefty win here. Forest are really weak at the back. Toffolo has probably got a bet on the game. I don't know what he's got on. Williams, ex-Liverpool, is probably going to give him an own goal, I'd imagine. Felipe is rubbish. I
wouldn't mind seeing these Forest players if they get relegated, though, in the Championship. You know, some of them strike me as really good.
Do they stay, though? This is the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of them are probably a lot too big time for the Championship.
Yeah.
They probably end up playing their old boys again, like... Worrell, well, I think he's left, but
Yeah.
All those old lads. But right, score-wise, I'm going to go for 3-1 to Liverpool.
3-1 to Liverpool. Okay, next up, Spurs versus Crystal Palace. At Spurs, Crystal Palace, I don't know. I feel like they get battered and then they batter someone and then they're awful, but then they always pull a result out just when everyone's about to condemn them. 13th place for them. Spurs are obviously up in 5th, just above Man United. Yeah, they've always got that, especially at home, I think, that attacking capability to go off a bit. You know, Son, Richarlison, Maddison. I like that attacking three. Son's obviously one of the better forward holds in the Premier League, like one of the more elite ones. Vicaria's looked really good in nets actually since he came in as well. Yeah, AAA for Romero back there at left at defence as well. Van der Ven's a double A as well. So obviously it's predicting a decent day at the back for Spurs as well. Jordan Ayew somehow been around forever and constantly banging out goals still. Double A for him as well. But I would like Spurs on this after a good result for Palace last time. They did win last time, didn't they? They
won 3-0 on the weekend. Yeah.
So they'll probably reverse it this week just because they're confusing as fuck to watch. So I'm going to go.
The asterisks that they were playing Burnley. Well, no offense to Burnley, but Burnley are looking.
But I'm going to flip it around and go for Spurs to win 3-0. Comprehensive 3-0 win.
No, I can see that happening for sure. Yeah, like you said, they had that first win under the new manager, and then a little initial bounce. I think. Sorry, I've just got a real tickle in the old throat.
Yeah, those only 75%, but they look very good.
Just choking. I think it's going to be a real tough game for Palace. I think they're going to be sort of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back here, and Spurs will be too strong for them. I think maybe I could see 2-0 for Spurs, I'd say.
2-0 to Spurs. All right, next up. Luton Town versus Villa up the Kenilworth Road. Go on, the boys. Luton continue to just astound me how these Cauley Woodrow, TT Chong, ex-Bristol City players, Man United rejects. Lokonga looks like a world beater on loan from Arsenal. Ross Barkley, who was finished in my eyes, is come back. And now the press have decided he's playing so well, they'll start linking him to Man United for some clicks. I quite enjoy the Luton story. I did live there for a while as well, so it kind of I kind of enjoy it. Played really well against United as well when I watched on TV a couple of weeks ago. We're unlucky to lose that game. Villa always have the ability to turn it on. Watkins, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Bailey started to really catch form as well. Villa obviously up in 4th. Luton are in the relegation zone. Villa have had a couple of losses in their last 5 though, so it's not impossible. You've got to stick your neck out on the line for one prediction each week, haven't you? You can't just go along with the favourites.
See where this is going.
I am going to pick Luton Town to beat Aston Villa, relegation zone to beat Champions League place, and I'm going to go for 2-1 to Luton.
Wow. That's bold. I mean, to be fair, I think every time we've done these predictions or any predictions and Luton have been included in it, I've been like, well, Luton are going to lose. And they've actually done well this season. They look by far the best of the 3 teams that came up, don't they? Excuse me, I should just die again. But I'll have to stick my neck out on the line for a later game because I really don't see them beating Villa. Villa are a very, very good team. Obviously had a tiny little blip. I think they lost 3 games in a week, including a cup game. But they're an extremely good team. Got a strong squad. I can't see anything but a Villa win. It's on TV as well, so I just feel like I don't know. Luton will shit their pants a little bit on TV.
Well, yeah, the Sorare data lineups follow your way of thinking. Double A's all along that attacking section. So yeah, common sense would say to stack your Villa attacking lineups, get those attacking stacks in. You know, I'm going against it though. I'm rallying.
Interesting that they say Lukonga's playing. I swear I saw he's injured for quite a while.
He might well be if you look at yeah.
Okay, fine.
Play Sharper, he's not on there, so yeah, he probably is.
And
he's been
a very good player for them. Obviously, I'd say Barkley, Lukonga have been key men for them this year.
Yeah, he's injured till late April.
Okay,
he's according to this. So
I'm going to go for a Villa win. I think Luton will score. To be fair, I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win.
Okay, we're on to Sunday now. Sunday, 1 o'clock. Burnley, Bournemouth. You know, this doesn't fill your taste buds with excitement, does it? It doesn't get you salivering at the prospect of an early Sunday afternoon in front of the TV. You go first.
So I've mentioned it. I don't think Burnley are doing well, and they're running out of games here. I mean, this is one they probably would have put on their sort of asterisk on their thing and said this is a winnable game that we can try and really push for. But Bournemouth are a good team. Bournemouth are playing well under their manager, who they struggled with at the start of the season. I think they're comfortably sort of 11th or 12th, something like that, aren't they, Bournemouth?
Bournemouth are 14th, and 14th. Burnley 19th.
Yeah, I just can't see much than a Bournemouth win here, to be honest with you. I think Solanke's come back from his injury. They've got the strong Bristol City spine. I don't know how many of them are going to be playing. Brownhill, I think, is suspended for Burnley in the game. I think he got sent off last week, so it's a key player for Burnley. They're going to be missing. I'm going to go for I could see it randomly being a really heavy away win, something like a 4-1, and then Company to get sacked.
Bournemouth are heavy favourite. Well, not heavy favourites, but strong favourite. Semenyo, ex-Bristol City legend, is looking at 90% on the left wing there. So neither team have got a win in their last 5, I think. Bournemouth 3 draws, 2 losses. Burnley 4 losses and a draw. Sounds like an absolute dross fest to me.
Bournemouth played very well against Man City, though. I thought second half in particular, they were all over City for most of the half. I thought, but
yeah, there's not a lot on this page that fills you with excitement. But I guess if you're in Bournemouth players, this is probably the opportunity to plug them in, back Solanke to get a goal, or maybe someone else, you know, like a Clive or a Semenyo to go and grab a decisive. And maybe you bank on them getting a clean sheet. I'm going to go for an absolute shitty snooze fest that no one enjoys watching and everyone skips over on Match of the Day 2. And I'm going to go for fuck all, tied at 0s.
Oh, wow. It's good for your Bournemouth defensive stack.
Yeah, well, Lloyd Kelly's not playing, so I've got about 8 Lloyd Kellys across the scarcities. He's not in there, but I do have a rare Semenyo, so we'll give him a go. 90% to start and play Sharper. Nice. Leaves us with 2 games. Obviously, the feature game of the weekend, Super Sunday, is the Manchester Derby at the Etihad. Right, do you want to go first? Then I can throw in some optimism afterwards.
I mean, yeah, Man City are so many leagues above United at the moment in terms of the way they play and the way they are. In general, they just are. If you had Højlund, I would say he'd have a chance at least because he's been, really good for you the last 6 weeks. But he's out. Pardon me. Haaland, I think, did quite well in midweek. I think he might have scored 5 goals in about 10 minutes, all assisted by Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, I can't see anything but a City win here. I could see it being quite embarrassing. For
odds 9.58 to 1.36. That's got to be a sick joke.
One thing I would say is that 3 or 4 years ago, or a bit longer than that, there was a couple of times where like City's bogey team was United, wasn't it? They kept losing to them, even when they were like winning 36 of 38 games in the season. It seemed they just would always lose to United. But I'm going to go for a 2-0, just a solid 2-0 to Man City.
I mean, I think they could probably rotate their team as much as they want and probably still get a comfortable win without Højlund, who started to look really good. You know, Rashford's never looked good playing through the middle. Anthony looks like an absolute complete waste of money, troll up on the side.
A little Paddy, didn't he? And when he got subbed off in midweek, I saw.
But he'd been crap. So, yeah, Lindelof at left back. He's still, I'd still rather have him there than Amrabat, who is completely useless and has been an absolutely shocking signing. Just, no Maguire in there again. So Johnny Evans, looks a bit patched up in there. I don't think United have got enough quality. Maybe if it was home, I'd give them, a chance. I don't want to pick a Man City win, but, this is the only realistic thing to do. I'm going to go, let's say at least we make it an entertaining game. I'm going to go 4-2 to Man City.
Okay. Could see happening.
I have a Man City stack, so at least that might be able to give me a bit of satisfaction. One
thing I guess worth noting is, I don't know if it's been since our last show, but United have a new owner now, right? So, and he sounds like he's coming in and being pretty ruthless and saying like, there's going to be 10 players on the transfer list. I've heard Rashford's name mentioned. I've heard quite a few names. Like, at least they know they're going to be playing for their careers now. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe they'll start running a bit more.
Yeah, well, I don't see it. He's doing the right stuff. But yeah, in terms of Sorare, just play Man City players. Same thing you do every week. I don't think it's a lot of advice there. I think probably Haaland is a very safe bet to Rodri. I think De Bruyne probably follows up midweek. It's a big game for them, so he probably gets another start.
I don't know. I feel like Johnny Evans might have the winning of Haaland, mate. 38-year-old Johnny Evans.
Yeah, moving on. Last one, Sheffield United, Arsenal. I think we're probably going to predict the same thing here. It's just which score we go for.
10-0.
Sheffield United are not very good at football. Don't pass the eye test. Don't pass the Sorare test. Don't pass the having a chance in hell of staying up test. Yeah, I don't know. Arsenal, everyone said they need a striker to, do well, but they still look to be scoring goals for fun. And there's just triple A's all over this pitch. And this Predictor, Saka, Odegaard, Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, all triple A's. I don't want any part of Sheffield United. I think Arsenal are going to win comfortably. I think it's a matter of how many. Can Sheffield United frustrate them for a little bit? Load up your Arsenal players. I guess there's a bit of uncertainty about who plays. You can see in these front three. But I'm probably going to go for 5-1 to Arsenal. I'm going to give Sheffield United credit there by giving them a goal.
I mean, yeah, it's very, very one-sided, this game, isn't it? Sheffield United are completely dead in the water. Showed a bit of fight on the weekend against Wolves, but ultimately lost the game and actually did end up fighting with each other as well. I don't know if you saw that, Jack Robinson and
that's what you want.
Yeah, having a little scrap together. But Arsenal are looking at a very, very good team this season. Havertz is suddenly started to show a bit of form, isn't he, as well? Having looked like he'd never kicked football before at the start of the season. They're looking strong across the board. So, what did you say, 5-1?
Yeah.
I can see it being 4-0, I think. We'll go for 4-0 to Arsenal, that is, obviously.
All right. Good stuff. That's the predictions in. Yeah, and that's all we've got for this week. The Premier League prediction show. We'll show you the results maybe on its own show or maybe on a podcast next week. One or the other. But we'll be back soon with more mildly entertaining content for you. if you could do us all a nice solid and like, subscribe, and all that vibe on the way out, that'll kickstart our weekend in a nice positive manner. But until next time, enjoy your luxury VIP experience at Everton. And we'll hear all about it next week, I'm sure. But we're out.
You will. Check out my socials. It'll be all over it, I'm sure.
Yeah, up here. Check out the social if you want to see anything about Everton, which you probably get enough of on this podcast as it is. But for now, that's it. We're out. Viva la Thursday Club.
Up the Toffees.